No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Just 2 minutes ago, the sports world was shaken to its core. Caitlin Clark, the brightest star in the WNBA and the player millions tune in to watch, has reportedly decided to quit the league. Yes, you heard that right. After months of brutal fouls, questionable officiating, and mounting pressure, Clark may have finally reached her breaking point. What exactly pushed her over the edge? And what does this mean for the future of women's basketball? Grab your seat. This story is deeper, darker, and more shocking than you think. When the fearless finally breaks. Everything changed the instant Caitlin Clark suddenly stopped in the middle of the game, clutching her groin in obvious pain. The arena, which had been buzzing with excitement just moments before, fell into a heavy, uneasy silence. Fans held their breath, teammates froze, coaches exchanged worried glances. This wasn't just a usual injury, something players get through all the time. No, this was different. It was a powerful, emotional moment that revealed something deeper. Years of hidden pain, struggle, and exhaustion that Caitlin had been carrying inside quietly and alone. For as long as anyone could remember, Caitlin Clark had been known as fearless. She's a player who always seems unstoppable, running full speed, pushing her limits, and never showing weakness on the court. Her toughness and determination inspired fans and teammates alike. But at that moment, when she clutched her groin and took slow, painful steps, her strong image cracked. For the very first time in her career, we saw Caitlin break down, tears streaming down her face right there on the hardwood. Those tears were not just about the pain she was feeling physically. They revealed the mental and emotional burden she had been carrying for far too long. Behind the cheers and the bright lights, Caitlin was fighting a quiet battle, injuries piling up, the pressure to perform perfectly, endless expectations, and the sheer exhaustion of competing at the highest level. All of it added up, and that moment was when it became too much to hide. This was not only a heartbreaking moment for Caitlin herself, but it sent shockwaves through everyone watching. Fans who had always admired her suddenly felt a deep wave of empathy and concern. Her teammates, who had seen her fight through pain before, now witnessed just how heavy the cost had become. The entire league paused, realizing this wasn't just a game or a typical injury. It was a raw and honest glimpse at the real toll of being a star athlete. That moment also sparked bigger conversations about how athletes are cared for, how their injuries are treated, and how much mental pressure they face behind the scenes. Caitlin's breakdown was a clear reminder. Beneath the highlights and headlines, players are human. They feel pain, doubt, and sometimes reach a breaking point. Her tears weren't a sign of weakness. They were a powerful call for understanding and change. In the end, Caitlin Clark's emotional moment on the court was more than just an injury. It was a wake-up call to fans, teams, and the whole sport. True strength includes knowing when you need to pause and heal. This moment could spark a future where athletes are protected not just physically, but emotionally too. Could this injury have been avoided? Let's uncover how rushed decisions and neglect are putting Caitlin Clark's entire career at risk. The hidden damage. Caitlin Clark's injury didn't just happen suddenly or by accident. It was the result of months of mistakes, pressure, and a lack of proper care. From the very beginning, things went wrong when she came back too quickly after hurting her quad during preseason. Instead of giving her enough time to fully heal, the team rushed her back onto the court. It was clear that the coaches and the front office cared more about creating buzz and selling tickets than about making sure their star player was truly ready to play again. Rather than protecting Caitlin, the heart and soul of their team, the Fever staff repeatedly pushed her to keep playing, even when she was not 100% fit. Injuries were treated like bad headlines that needed to be managed or hidden, not as serious medical problems that required rest and proper treatment. This approach turned her body into a ticking time bomb, constantly at risk of breaking down. The schedule she faced was brutal. Games came one after another with barely any time to recover. On top of that, the team's confusing and inconsistent rotations made it almost impossible for Caitlin to find a steady rhythm or stay loose and ready. Instead of carefully managing her playing time to protect her health, she was thrown in and pulled out unpredictably. This only made her more vulnerable to further injury. The constant travel took its toll, too. Flying from city to city, dealing with changing time zones, and missing out on proper rest all added up. It was a relentless cycle that drained her physically and mentally. The strain of this demanding routine wore Caitlin down more than anyone outside the team realized. All these factors together reveal a dangerous pattern of neglect. The Fever's way of handling things hasn't just hurt Caitlin's chances for a strong season. It's putting her entire career at risk. Even worse, it's threatening her long-term health and well-being. The consequences of this careless approach could last far beyond this season, possibly ending the promising career of one of the brightest stars in women's basketball. What makes this situation even more frustrating is how avoidable it was. Proper rest, thoughtful medical care, and a well-planned schedule could have made all the difference. Instead, the Fever's focus on short-term excitement and immediate wins blinded them to what matters: the health and future of their franchise player. At a time when sports teams around the world are learning to prioritize their athletes' well-being, this story stands out as a warning. Caitlin Clark's struggle is a reminder that no amount of hype or quick returns can replace the value of careful, patient care. If the Fever wants to keep their star shining bright, they need to change course, and fast, before it's too late. Caitlin Clark's injury is no accident. It's the result of months of neglect, pressure, and poor decisions, pushed too far for quick wins. But was it only her management's failure? Let's uncover Caitlin Clark's fierce battle against brutal defenses and inconsistent officiating, physical hits, and emotional war. Caitlin Clark's struggles go far beyond just physical injuries. Every time she steps on the court, she faces a constant battle that few fans fully see or understand. It's not just about the pain in her body, it's the daily challenge of dealing with extremely tough, often rough defense from opponents. Players on the other team don't hold back when guarding her. They push, they shove, and sometimes even cross the line with aggressive physical play. Yet the referees, who are supposed to keep the game fair and safe, too often look the other way. This pattern has been frustrating and exhausting for Caitlin all season. Opponents have been allowed to be rough with her, and the referees rarely call fouls or penalties to protect her. This has forced Caitlin to fight on multiple fronts. Not only does she have to push through physical pain, but she also has to deal with the unfairness of missed calls. She's constantly battling the clock, the opposing players, and a system that seems unwilling or unable to stand up for her. The tension finally reached a boiling point during a recent game. After being repeatedly held, shoved, and blocked without any fouls being called, Caitlin's frustrations spilled over. In a rare and bold moment, she snapped at a referee, telling him to grow up. It was a surprising and powerful outburst, but for those who understand the pressure she's under, it made perfect sense. That moment gave fans and the league a rare, honest look at what Caitlin has been feeling deep down all season: frustration, anger, and helplessness. She's been fighting so hard, not just against other teams, but against a system that often lets her down. Her words were more than just the heat of the moment. They were a cry for justice and respect. She was demanding that the people in charge of enforcing the rules do their jobs and protect the players. Caitlin's bold reaction shows how much pressure she has been under and how tired she is of being left to fend for herself. It's a call for accountability from the officials, coaches, and league leaders, those who are responsible for making sure the game is safe and fair for everyone. This situation is about more than just one player. It shines a light on larger problems in the sport, issues with how women's basketball is officiated and how players' safety is sometimes overlooked. Caitlin's struggle is a powerful reminder that behind every incredible performance is a human being who deserves to be protected and respected. If the league listens to her message, it could lead to important changes that make the game safer and fairer. Until then, Caitlin Clark's fight continues, not just for points and wins, but for the respect and care every player deserves. Caitlin Clark's struggle runs deeper than injury. She faces relentless hits, inconsistent calls, and mounting pressure. Let's uncover how mismanagement and confusion are driving the league's brightest star dangerously close to her breaking point, fighting through pain while the team falls apart. No matter what challenges come her way, Caitlin Clark keeps giving her absolute best every time she steps onto the basketball court. She is the driving force behind the Indiana Fever's offense, the heartbeat of the team, constantly racking up points, dishing out assists, and leading her teammates with determination and skill. Even as her body struggles to keep up, battling injury after injury, Caitlin pushes forward, showing incredible grit and resilience. But beneath the surface of her relentless effort lies a troubling reality. Caitlin's playing time has been all over the place. Sometimes she's on the court for just a few minutes, then pulled out for long stretches, only to be thrown back in again. These inconsistent minutes make it nearly impossible for her to find a steady rhythm, which is so crucial for any athlete, especially one nursing injuries. This stop-and-go pattern is not only frustrating, but also physically harmful. Her body, already weakened by strain and pain, gets little chance to warm up or recover properly. The result? Her injuries get worse, and her confidence slowly drains away. The coaching decisions have added to the confusion and struggle. Instead of carefully managing her health and performance, the coaches have made moves that seem random or rushed, with no clear strategy to protect their star player. Caitlin is being treated less like the franchise leader she is and more like a rookie learning the ropes. She's rotated in and out of the lineup without consideration for her physical limits, leaving her exposed to further damage. This sharp contrast between her superstar status and the way she's handled is glaring. Fans expect their star player to be cherished, carefully monitored, and given the support she needs to perform at her best over the long haul. Instead, Caitlin feels like she's being tossed around, like a tool to be used rather than a person to be cared for. The constant mismanagement not only risks her current health, but could also jeopardize her entire career. As the weeks go by, a worrying question hangs in the air. How much more can Caitlin's body and spirit take before she breaks for good? How long before the physical toll and emotional exhaustion force her to step back or, worse, leave the game she loves? Caitlin's story isn't just about a talented player fighting through pain. It's about the importance of proper care, respect, and understanding in sports. It's a reminder that even the strongest athletes have limits, and those limits must be honored. Teams that fail to protect their stars risk losing them forever, and the loss goes far beyond the scoreboard. In a league that's hungry for heroes like Caitlin, the Indiana Fever have a responsibility to step up to treat her with the care and strategy her talent deserves. Because the future of their franchise and Caitlin's future in basketball depend on it. Without the right support, Caitlin Clark's exit from the WNBA might come sooner than anyone expects. But what would the league truly lose if she walked away today? Let's explore how her unmatched talent and star power are transforming women's basketball. The revolutionary superstar. Caitlin Clark is widely seen as a once-in-a-generation talent in women's basketball. Many experts and sports publications have hailed her as one of the greatest female college basketball players ever to step on the court. What sets Clark apart isn't just her skill. It's her incredible shooting ability, which goes far beyond what's been typical in the women's game. She's known for her unbelievable range, regularly sinking shots from distances few women players have attempted or made before. Because of this, many call her a game changer, a true trailblazer who is transforming women's basketball in a way few others have. People often compare Clark's impact on the women's game to what Stephen Curry has done for men's basketball. Just like Curry revolutionized how players think about shooting and range, Clark is rewriting the rules for what counts as a good shot in women's hoops. USA Today even said she's redefined what a good shot is in basketball, just like Curry did on the men's side. A Wall Street Journal columnist, Jason Gay, noted that while there have been many great shooters in women's basketball history, Clark stands out because of the distance she can shoot from, combined with her exceptional passing skills. She's adding new layers to the game, changing its very shape and style. Clark's influence goes beyond her individual talent. She's become a huge factor in making women's basketball more popular than ever. This phenomenon is often called the Caitlin Clark effect. Since her college days at Iowa, she's drawn massive crowds and captured the attention of fans across the country. During her senior season, multiple reports credited Clark with a huge rise in attendance at games and record-breaking TV viewership for women's college basketball. In 2023, when Clark was a junior, she played a key role in making the national championship game the most-watched women's college basketball game ever, with nearly 10 million viewers tuning in. That was just the beginning. Before her senior season even started, the Iowa women's team shattered the all-time attendance record for a women's basketball preseason exhibition game, drawing an astonishing 55,646 fans. The excitement around her team didn't stop there. Ticket sales for the 2023-2024 season completely sold out, and the program made over $3.2 million from ticket sales alone, the highest amount ever earned by any women's college basketball team. Clark's popularity soared even higher during the 2024 NCAA tournament. Each of her team's final 3 games set new viewership records for women's college basketball. The championship game itself drew an incredible 18.9 million viewers, making it the most watched basketball game at any level since 2019. For the first time in history, a women's NCAA tournament final even surpassed the men's final in TV ratings, a milestone that speaks volumes about Clark's impact on the sport. Her influence didn't end when she turned professional. In her rookie season with the Indiana Fever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark continued to boost the league's popularity. The Fever broke their franchise record for single-season attendance, and their final regular season game set the WNBA's all-time attendance record. Whenever Caitlin Clark takes the court, arenas fill and the game comes alive. She's changing women's basketball, but how heartbreaking would it be if this incredible talent quit at her peak? Let's explore why protecting Caitlin Clark is vital for the future of the WNBA. A wake-up call. At first glance, the Indiana Fever's recent win might seem like a reason to celebrate. But beneath that shiny victory lies a much darker truth, one that can't be ignored. The team is slowly losing its brightest star, Caitlin Clark. And this isn't due to bad luck or random injury. It's the result of careless decisions and short-sighted thinking by those in charge. Instead of protecting their most valuable player, they've pushed her too hard, ignoring the bigger picture. Caitlin's long-term health and the future of the franchise she carries on her shoulders. The image of Caitlin Clark limping off the court, tears rolling down her cheeks, is something no fan, teammate, or league official will forget anytime soon. That wasn't just physical pain. It was a loud and clear alarm bell. It told everyone that something serious has gone wrong, something that calls for urgent attention. This moment is a wake-up call, not only for the Fever, but for the entire WNBA and the fans who fill the stands and watch every game with hope and excitement. The question now is urgent and simple. What matters more? Is it winning a few games in the short term, or is it protecting the player who makes those wins possible and ensuring she has a healthy, long-lasting career? This isn't just about basketball. It's about the well-being of a human being who gives her all on the court. The answer is clear. Caitlin Clark needs full rest. No rushed comebacks. No pretending everything is okay when it isn't. The team, coaches, and management need to be honest. With Caitlin, with the fans, and with themselves. They must acknowledge the truth and commit to fixing the mistakes that have been made. This goes beyond healing an injury. It's about rebuilding something even more fragile and vital. Trust. Trust between Caitlin and the people responsible for her care and career. trust between the Fever and the fans who believe in the team. Trust that the league respects and values its stars not just for their game skills, but as people. If the current path continues, the real question isn't if Caitlin Clark will leave the Fever. It's when. And that would be a loss no one wants to see. Caitlin is not just a player. She is the heart and soul of the team, the face of the league, and a role model for fans of all ages. Losing her because of neglect or bad management would be a devastating blow, not only for Indiana, but for women's basketball as a whole. This moment calls for serious reflection and swift action. It's time to prioritize long-term health and well-being over short-term gains and hype. It's time to listen to the signals Caitlin's body and spirit are sending. Only by doing this can the Fever hope to keep their brightest star shining and build a future where players are truly protected, valued, and celebrated, not just for their talent, but for their humanity. So, what do you think about Caitlin Clark's decision to quit the WNBA? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.